everybody. You are now tuned into the Empowered to Prosper podcast with your host, me, Apostle Richard D. Holmes Sr. I tell you, we're right here on View E Network, and I am so excited. And you know there's a difference in being excited and so excited. Just like there's a difference in being hungry and so hungry. Like there's a difference in being when somebody says, she ugly or he ugly, and he is so ugly. So it's a difference. I am so excited. Why are you so excited, Apostle? Because you and I are making history. Yay! We are making history. And I tell you, how are we making history, Apostle? Well, this is my very first podcast. And you, and especially you are part of it. And I want to let you know that is so very exciting. We will look back on this moment years later and remember you were the ones that were part of the first podcast of the Empowered to Prosper podcast. I tell you, this is exciting. You know, I was thinking about this podcast, and you know, I'm not going to be here just preaching and teaching to you. Now, I am a preacher, so it may just come up and out of me every now and then, but I am not, just strategically arranging messages and sermons. If you want to hear me preach, you can do that and come to the church, 613 East 45th Street, Morning View Word Church. I do the teaching over there. But here I want to have a special connection with you. I want to have a special conversation with you. I want us to dialogue together. I know you can't hear me. I mean, you can hear me, but I can't hear you responding back. But you can come in and do all that. You can write me at View Enterprise or View E Network. That's what you want. View E Network at gmail.com. I want to hear from you. View E Network at gmail.com. So that's kind of way right now until I come live and I can really see what your comments are and all of that. But I'm here to have a real good time with you. The question comes, what makes this podcast different from all other podcasts? Because I think there is a difference. Because you got podcasts everywhere. Everybody got a podcast, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what is going to be unique and different about this particular podcast, Empowered to Prosper? Well, here's how I look at it. We're going to charge your spirit. We're going to spark your joy. We're going to keep you going and glowing, even when life is trying to dim your light. We're going to fire you up on Empowered to Prosper podcast. Have you ever experienced, in your life, say your phone is only, charging, it has 2% left. 2%, 3% on your phone, and you're still texting and you're still trying to look at movies, and you find out that it's kind of in slow motion. It's not operating effectively. And you wonder, why is it so slow? It's on 2-3%. That's how a lot of people are living their lives, on 2%, but they're expecting 100% results. Doesn't work like that. So when you come into this place, into this special space with me, my goal is to, again, to charge your spirit, spark your joy, and keep you going and glowing even when life is trying to dim your light. I don't think anyone live a life and when they reach certain ages, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then they just wake up one morning and have not accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in life. Some may be on drugs, some may be broke, some may have lost a job, some are having health challenges. I don't think anyone woke up and said, hey, this is exactly where I wanted to be in life. Yep. This is how I wanted life to be for me. No, 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 no. But you got to remember, life is choice driven. You're going to live or you're going to die by the choices that you make. So you got to get to the point where you're saying, hey, I want better in life. And I believe with all of my heart, each and every one of you that's listening to me today, you have the opportunity to experience empowerment. You have the opportunity to be empowered to do better in life. I call it empowered to prosper. You have that opportunity in life, but you have to participate with that opportunity. So you can be, because once you begin to experience empowerment, that means you're going to be charged up. You're going to be charged up when life tries to drain you. You're going to be above only when life tries to drown you. But yes, you got to make a quality decision. And again, I say I'm not going to be on here just preaching and teaching, but because I am a preacher, it may come out every now and then. But again, I believe every last one of you, you are empowered, you are anointed, appointed, authorized, licensed, and empowered to do well in life. And here comes one of my preaching moments. You're also anointed, appointed, authorized, licensed, and empowered, watch this, to prove hell wrong. That's one of my preaching moments there. To prove hell wrong. Whatever negative things life throws at you, I mean friend betrayal, divorce, health issues, financial challenges, all of those different circumstances that may come into your life, you are anointed, appointed, authorized, licensed, and empowered to do well and achieve victory in every last one of those situations. So I am excited. Nope, I said it wrong. I am so excited to be coming to you on a regular, knowing that I got something to say, knowing I'm going to charge your spirit, spark your joy, and keep you going and glowing, even when life tries to dim your light. So listen, I want to take a break, and I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to define some things. What does it mean to be empowered? We're going to get into that when we come back. Remember now, you are tuned into the Empowered to Prosper podcast with your host, Apostle Richard D. Holmes Sr. See you in a few. Mark your calendar, December 28th, 2025 at 3 p.m. I will be confirmed as apostle, and AP Richard D. Holmes Jr. will be installed as pastor of Morning View Word Church. 3 p.m., December 28th, 2025. The apostle like no other, Apostle R.D. Hilliard, will be in our midst to lay hands on me. And of course, I'll lay hands on my son, Richard D. Holmes Jr. It's going to be great. We're excited. It's a transition taking place at Morning View Word Church. God bless. Welcome back. Empower to Prosper podcast. I'm your host, Apostle Richard D. Holmes Sr., and you're tuned in to View E Network. I tell you, before I get started and just helping you out with some things concerning empowerment, let me give a serious shout out to my son, my namesake, Richard D. Holmes Jr., better known around town now as assistant pastor. We call him AP, soon to be pastor. A shout out to him on this awesome vision that he has of this View Enterprises, totally, but in particular, View E Network, where you're viewing. And why don't you, if you have not already done so, why don't you hit the subscribe button? We're getting our numbers up, and they are growing very fast, which we thank God for. But we want to make sure you are part of our subscription. We want to make sure you're with us every place we go, and all the things we're doing. We want you to be a part. So please, right now, just hit that button, subscribe to View E Network. All right, let's get into a couple of discussions here. Empower to Prosper, and I share with you what we are endeavoring to do with this particular podcast. And I believe the first thing we need to do is really define the best we can, what does it mean to be empowered? Because that's what we're going to be talking about on this podcast, Empower to Prosper. We get to the prosper a little later, but let's define in the context of where this show will be taking you and sharing with you. What does it mean to be empowered? Well, empowered really means you've been given the authority, the ability, and even the resources to do something, watch this, effectively. You can even do something better in life. I made a few notes on this. You can do something better. You can have confidence when you're empowered. You have confidence. You have resources to make quality and wise decisions. Empowered. It also includes you taking control of your own life, and you are endeavoring to achieve smart goals in life. Wow, I said a lot. You may have to rewind me and bring me back after hearing all that. But when we talk about you being empowered, you're at a point in life, and my wife and I, we had to get there together. You are saying you're reaching a point in life where you are believing in your ability to succeed. I believe again with all my heart, you ought to be living a life full of victory, success, and prosperity. That's all a part of being empowered. So when we talk about being empowered to Prosper podcast right here on View E Network, you have access to information, skills, and support systems to help navigate through challenges in life. Oh, if you keep living, you're going to have some challenges in life. But when you empowered, you will develop the skills to navigate through those challenges. Why you say that, Apostle? Because sometimes life will throw you so much. I think the young folks say now, life is lifing. To the point you just want to give up, quit, cave in, tired of this. I don't need all this in my life. I hear you. I hear you. And that's why I'm saying you got to participate. Because you too, yeah, I'm talking to you and especially you too have the opportunity to be empowered. When you are empowered, you contribute to positive change. You may be saying, Apostle, I ain't got nothing positive in my life. You have not participated in the opportunity to be empowered. Because when you empowered, you want to cause positive change in your life and in other lives. Wow, you may say, whew, I got a long way to go. It's okay. You can get started today. I know it seems like times that you're going through what you're going through, life is not even worth living. Seem like, hey, some of y'all are going through family issues. Some of y'all are going through financial issues and challenges. Some of y'all are going through health challenges. And you're like, well, hey, life for me right now is not even worth living. But I come to tell you, preaching moment now, God has not forgotten about you. But he needs your participation and he needs your cooperation with what he's already designed for you. So yes, even right where you are now, you are able to participate in the opportunity to be empowered. It will not just happen automatically. There's some things you have to do. So I want to move into this, and with the time I have remaining, and of course we pick it up. If I run out of time, we'll pick it up. That's not a problem, because I want you to get this. I don't want this to be just another show. Remember, I want to charge your spirit. I want to spark your joy. I want to keep you going and glowing even when life tries to, dim your light. Even those circumstances and conditions and situations are not favorable right now in your life. I want to say something to you. To say, hey, let me try it another day. Let me try it another day. Let me get up another day. Because the apostle said, I'm empowered. And I want to participate in the opportunity to be empowered to prosper. Oh, my goodness. Wait till I get to the part on prosperity and prospering. That's later on. See, I told y'all I'm so excited. I am so excited to be with you. But with our time remaining, let's tackle this question. How do I become empowered? How do I stay empowered? Ooh, that's good right there. Because I've talked about, what empowerment is, what it means to be empowered. Well, how do I do this thing? How do I become empowered? Because yes, I feel like giving up. Yes, I feel like quitting. Yes, things are tough, rough, and difficult in my life. Yes, I need this thing you call an empowerment in my life. How do I become empowered? Well, first of all, if you're going to be empowered in this here life, hear me closely now. This is not no shocking revelation, but it is anointed revelation. First of all, you have to plug into the real source of power. Woo! I just said something. You got to plug into the real power source. All right, preaching time, preaching moment, but it's a good moment. Who's the real power source? God. You got to plug into God. That's the true, real power source. Let me give you a moment to think on that. You know, I've lived long enough to see people go through things who have plugged in to God's power. And I've lived long enough to see people that go through things and they have not plugged into God's power. And the difference is those who have not plugged into God's power, it's just, it's terrible. It's like, it's over for them. They have no way to make a comeback. Versus those that who are plugged in to God's power, the true power. Yeah, they cry. Yeah, they go through. But somehow, some way, they hold on. And watch this, things get better. I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know. If I had not plugged into God's power, true source of power, if I had not plugged into that with what me and my wife even went through, been married going on 41 years, and if we didn't have a connection or if we were not plugged into the power of God, that thing would have took us out. It makes a difference. So, Apostle, how do I become empowered? If I was teaching, because I'm not preaching and teaching right now, I'm just talking to you. But if I was teaching and preaching, I would say, step one, you got to plug into the power source, the true power source, which is God. Now, you need to write that down. You need to write that down. One of the scriptures that, supports that is Jesus. Y'all know him. Now, y'all know him. Now, y'all know I'm going to say Jesus on my podcast. Y'all know that. But Jesus said, apart from me, you can't do nothing. That's what Jesus said. Apart from me, you cannot do nothing. So how do I become empowered? I got to have, this gonna sound kind of churchy and preachy and teachy. Is that a word, preachy, teachy? Well, we'll use it today. But it's true. If I'm going to be empowered to prosper, I got to come up with some type of prayer life. I got to learn how to pray. I got to learn how to spend time with God. And I am not calling him a higher being on my podcast. All right, y'all do what y'all want to do on that. But on this podcast, it's God. Okay? The maker and creator of the world. He's God. So you got to learn how to spend time with God. And we have to worship him, respect him, honor him, recognize him. Are y'all listening to me? So that's how you start start. That's the start. Now, it's some other things you got to do. But I at least want to get you started because this is the Empower to Prosper podcast right here on View E Network. And if we're going to be talking about empower to prosper, we at least got to know what empowerment and how to empower, how to be empowered. We got to talk about that. So first step, I got to plug into the real source of power, which is God. Well, that's all the time I got today. But listen, you have made history with me. I'm so excited. You have made history with me. We are just about to complete the first podcast of the Empower to Prosper podcast right here on View E Network. And I want to hear from you. Please email me at vieweenetwork@gmail.com. But God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. I want you to have a wonderful day today. Again, for the first time, you made history, and you've been with me on the first podcast of the Empower to Prosper podcast. God bless, and we talk to you the next time. God can't lie to you. He meant what he said. He said what he meant. God's word really works. Bye now.